Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is of course my March plan with me. Now let me tell y'all, recording this and everything was kind of frustrating, a little bit regretful, and you'll see why later. But sorry. As you can see here, my theme for this month is bubble tea or boba, whichever you prefer to call it. And I actually saw Soosanmoo. I mentioned her in my last video. She actually did a theme, or a bubble tea theme as well, and it inspired me. She's very good at drawing, which I'm not, so these are very unproportioned and they just look weird. But anyways, the pen I use to draw the cups is my Staedtler pigment liners, and to write hello March is my tombow fudenosuke brush pen in the soft tip. And of course my calendar has not changed. It is the large calendar for this month, and it's also going to be the same thing for my school calendar, and I'm just gonna rush through it because it's just basically the same thing. In my opinion, I think that having a school calendar really helps me stay organized with specifically my school assignments, because if I have it all jumbled up in my personal calendar, you know, it gets all messy, and then sometimes I miss things because I just scan through it. So having my school calendar there really helps a lot. But, you know, you do you. Next is my habit trackers, of course, and as you can see here, I am drawing a cat bubble tea, a kitty if you will. I am freehanding my mini calendars because I didn't really get super used to it, but it's much more faster than using a ruler. And I'm also freehanding my March meals calendar, which I don't ever do. I decided to give it a try, and despite it being all wobbly looking, it doesn't look half bad, right? I tried not to be extra with my spreads, but somehow the video still ended up long. I feel like it has to do with the fact that I used a lot of color. But yeah, that's really what it is. I used a lot of color for this, and you will see. So as you saw, I actually skipped my usual fanfiction, music playlist, and as well as my highlights, because I've noticed for February I didn't write much for the fanfiction and as well as the music, and I kept forgetting to write my highlights. So I was thinking, okay, I'll try not to do it for March and we'll see how it goes. So I just decided to go on with a weekly spread, which the concept of it I thought was okay, but I feel like once, like I said, I added color, it just became a mess. And I'm using an STA pigment liner in size 0.4 to do it, and I got it off of AliExpress. And on the bottom you can see I have a blender as well as some fruits, cups, and more bubble tea cups, of course, which I regret putting that blender thingy. I don't know, I had the idea in my head, but I am not an artist, so it did not turn out the way I planned, but what can I do? I was actually torn on whether or not I wanted to upload this, or even while I was editing it, I was like, should I really continue this, post it and everything? But I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'll just do it. So starting off, I'm actually using my tombow marker or tombow brush pens to do this, and I'm starting off with the color 761 and using a crayola supertip to draw in the tapioca balls. And as you saw from the sketches, I draw in some faces that are supposed to be cute, but I mean, I guess they are. And for the next color, it's a minty color in the shade 243. And I'm going to be repeating these steps throughout the entire bubble tea process, if you will. And the next color is 620. I was going for the flavors like strawberry, honeydew, and taro, which are lovely flavors. Which, by the way, you should let me know what are some of your favorite flavors of bubble tea. I personally like coffee flavored and basic milk tea and almond milk tea. I love almond milk tea. So I'm using the Tombow 761 as well as 243, 620. I have 451 and 873 to kind of highlight in those tops of the boxes, and using that same Fudenosuke pen to write in March overview. As you can see, I was kind of going towards a very pastel-y kind of color scheme. It's gonna change, and it's not gonna change for the better. I apologize. And I used the 942 shade to make that little swipe to write notes on, and the process just repeats for my school calendar, honestly, so I'm just gonna rush through that as well. I meant to write calendar instead of overview, but I was already doing it, so I was like, okay, whatever, let's just roll with it. I just switched up the color order, so yeah. Next, writing in habit tracker using my staedtler pigment liner in 0.3. And the first color I'm going in with is the 993 tombow, which just totally messes up the whole pastel theme, which I didn't realize till afterwards. And I'm using the 942 for the cat boba tea to represent kind of like that milk tea color. And I guess that the one before that is like a Thai tea kind of boba, or a mango one, whatever floats your boat. I really wish I stick with the pastel theme because it looks really, really cute, and I was just thinking of boba flavors to use as color inspo, and once I started off with the pastel, I was just like, wow, I should have just stuck through that. My habits don't change, same thing: sleep, water, coffee, unhealthy foods, flossing, and my productivity. And for my March meals, I'm debating if I want to turn it into kind of like a meal plan so that it keeps me on track to eat much healthier, because I've been up and down on my diet, so I really need to get back on it. I used a kind of dark pink for that bubble tea cup, and I used it with the staedtler dual tip marker, and I was kind of going for like a watermelon flavor, I guess, which of course just ruins the pastel, and using the 942 color to write in the numbers. And I threw in an extra bubble tea drawing in that bottom right corner, and I used the 451 shade. I'm not too sure what flavor that would be. Yeah, even right now I don't even know, because if it would be like a blueberry kind of situation, it probably would be darker, I assume. Maybe. I'm rambling. It's one of those nights, you guys. Your girl is just going through it. Okay, now this weekly spread is a hot mess. Like, none of the colors matches because I mixed in darker colors with the pastel, which I've mentioned 1,000 times already that I regret so hard. And with that small board on top is like a sort of menu looking thing, which I don't know, I thought it was a cute idea, into thinking it was like a kind of like a boba cafe kind of theme. I wrote menu and as well as the days of the week using the hard tip of the tombow fudenosuke brush pen. And I regret using the crayola supertip as background for the numbers because it's not dark enough. And I just realized after doing that first circle, and I don't know why I didn't just go over it with another one. But again, what's done is done. We do things we regret and we move on. Oh yeah, and that's my mood tracker up there, by the way. I forgot to write it in. I'm using my white Uniball Signal pen to draw in the numbers, of course. And here I am just continuing drawing out the straws, which I don't know why I didn't do initially. Yeah, I don't know why. But I used that same staedtler marker to include a watermelon kind of flavor in the blender, and I drew a strawberry and as well as a watermelon on the side, I guess to just match the color. I went in with the wrong shade for the strawberry at first, and I ended up using my 847 brush pen to go over it to make it like look like a strawberry. And I used the 245 tombow to draw in the leaves of the strawberry, and a light green staedtler marker for the skin of the watermelon. What's that called? Skin? Yeah. So I have this orange staedtler marker that I used for the cup over there, and I think that green, oh my god, I forgot what shade that was. 151, yeah, the 151 shade. I think I was going for an avocado flavored boba tea. Yeah, and just the color scheme does not match, and just watching this makes me sad. Just a little. And I used the 873 shade for the third cup and that same pink for the last one. Using my pentel energel clena in the 0.5 tip, I wrote a joke, sort of, which is, what kind of tea is hard to swallow? Reality. And the boba cup that I drew next to it is a milk tea with a very concerned facial expression. Yeah. And that is it, my ghouls, for my March plan with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it despite how messy it was. Hopefully I'll do better one day. But anyways, everything that I use in this video is in the description box below, as well as my music and my social media. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!